Okay, hello again, everybody. So today, right now, I'm going to talk about Tenet in a non-spoiler review. So I'm not going to have any spoilers in this section, but I'm going to kind of try and cover the film in a way where it gives you an idea of like what the film was like and give you some impressions of it, so that you guys get a sense of like what the film is like without having to see it. So yeah, I was able to see it. I saw it in Dolby, which is a really cool experience. Has really good sound. Um, Overall, the film was okay. It wasn't like amazing. There were definitely some issues, I think, with the way the plot was, and you've probably heard a lot of people complain sort of about like the sound and the sound mix. There were definitely a lot of scenes where you couldn't really hear what the characters were saying because there was like something really loud going on, or like the score was really loud over the dialogue, or characters were wearing something that kind of obscured your ability to hear what they were saying. And that kind of got annoying because the plot is like really kind of intricate and kind of convoluted, and it's hard to understand what's happening plot wise in comparison to like what you actually can comprehend, what's the exposition that's given to you. So after a while, you kind of get a little lost in the middle of the film. Um, the opening is really strong. Probably a lot of people have seen the first like 10 minutes or so in one of the sneak previews. So yeah, similar kind of scene. There's definitely a couple other things that they left out, some kind of important elements that they left out of like the previews that I don't remember seeing. Um, but yeah, like that scene was really cool. The action's really strong in this film, and they do some really amazing stuff with like the time inversion that they talk about, like where something is going seemingly backwards in time while everything else is going forwards in time. It's really impressive how they pulled that off. And you've probably seen in the trailers, there's like a scene with like a massive airplane. That scene is like really good. Um, and again, the sound in that scene is like just like some of the most overwhelming kind of score moments I've ever seen in any film, where it's just like extremely booming and pulsating, the score, before the kind of climactic moments. Um, but I would say like one of the problems with this film is like the characters are not very strong. Most of the characters are pretty flat. Like they feel like they exist solely to perpetuate the plot and solely so that they can give exposition. There's only like one character that really has a real arc or real change. The others are just kind of there to do setup and then pay off of these different ideas that Nolan's trying to get across. And so that kind of leaves the film a little bit hollow. At the end, you're just kind of like, well, yeah, that was cool. These things were cool. These concepts are interesting, but I don't really feel anything at the end of it. So what is there to really care about? Um, but yeah, overall, I think that the action is really good. It's worth seeing. It's worth the theatrical experience, I'd say, for sure. Um, when I went, I was just like kind of blown away by like how spectacular a lot of the scenes were, and again, the third act, the conclusion is really cool, and um, something they haven't alluded to that at all, but it's a really cool scene. There's even like one actor who's kind of big that hadn't heard anything about this person that's in this film, so that might be a kind of interesting surprise for people. I was surprised, like, oh, this person's in this film, like didn't even know that. So I'd say overall the film kind of leaves you wanting more because the character elements just aren't strong enough. The plot is a little hard to understand the first go. I feel like this is a film where you'll watch it maybe the second or third time, you'll catch up on more stuff and you'll kind of understand more things. But at least in comparing this to with something like Inception, I feel like these two films are kind of trying to be in a similar vein. I feel like Inception, he did a much better job of like explaining the rules, giving you characters to care about, but also doing things in a really spectacular fashion that just didn't get pulled off in this film. So I would say this is not as good as I think a lot of his other original films that he did, like The Prestige or Inception or Interstellar. I think those are all better than this film. But there's still a lot to like with this film, and there's a lot of reasons to want to see it, especially in theaters, and get that theatrical experience. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and see this again. I'll try and see it, yeah, honestly, as many times as I can in theaters when things clear up. Because yeah, it's a fun experience, and it's definitely, there's a lot of puzzling stuff about the plot that I kind of want to unravel. So yeah, those are my non spoiler thoughts about the film. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. You'll probably see some more movie related stuff, more movie reviews coming up, and yeah, well, I'm hoping to have a more in depth discussion that's spoiler related with some other people about this film coming up pretty soon. So yeah, thanks a lot. Take care.